Well, welcome back, viewers. As you can see, those of you who maybe have missed the last few episodes of Rudgy aka the Doctor, yes, we're back on Sovereign Bay. We're no longer in Kefalonia. I've come back until February at the latest, really, to earn some more money to finance what I do back out in Kefalonia. Got some big changes on the horizon. I'm going to be selling the boat, Sovereign Bay. Got mixed emotions about that. Don't know whether I'm doing the right thing or not, but we'll see. I'm going to try and make the YouTube channel pay its way, because at the moment I probably spend 3 or 4 days a week editing, filming, doing stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to be doing merchandising if any of you are interested in that. Hats and t-shirts and sweatshirts to start with. And then hopefully we'll be able to do more and more Kefalonia stuff, because at the moment I have to come back for the winters to earn some money. I'd rather just come back for a month or so to visit people, really, but well, at the moment I have to come back on a regular basis to earn money to go back out there. So that's the plan. Let's see if we can do it. So this week, what have I been doing? Well, I've been contracted by a local garage to do all the stuff that was hanging around in their yard. He wanted a transit welding up. Now, I don't normally even look at transits welding wise, because they just rot for England, so they're not ever worth doing. However, this one doesn't owe me anything. It's sat in the yard, low mileage. I had a look and it wasn't that bad, so we decided we'd do it. So I've been welding that back together. I've got 2 springs to put on the back of it. Be a nice van for somebody at some point. And then we've got loads of other bits and pieces. I've got to take the body off a Range Rover, so that will be an interesting video. Never done one of those before, so that should be good. And I'm also over in the boatyard over there. I'm working over there with Andy Thomas of A&J Thomas Boat Builders. They do wooden boat restoration and building, shipwriting, stuff like that. There's an interesting top-up on a video I did a while back called on Silver Quest. I think it's 50-foot MFV. It was built in the war apparently, and Andy has stripped it down to the bare bones. And I mean, well, if you look back through the videos, you'll see what I mean. The thing was just hanging. It's completely replanked it and replaced, built a boat basically. So we're going to go and have a look at that and see how that's going. Maybe even interview the owner. So that would be an interesting video for some of you. And we're restoring a ferry. So. I'm employed basically to strip the varnish and the paintwork back, and maybe put some varnish and paint back on, but we'll see how we go time wise. And then looking forward, yeah, Andy and Jenny will chuck me a few jobs here and there, and the garage has got plenty to keep me going for another month or 2 at least yet. When the work runs out, I'll be going back to Kefalonia, hopefully before February, but it's looking at the moment like it'll have to be February to get the figures right. So that's that. So those of you who watch me for Kefalonia, I apologise. There will be the odd bit of Kefalonia thrown in every now and then. I'm planning to do 1 a month. I've still got enough footage to probably put one together for next month and the month after. So I'll be keeping you topped up with your Kefalonia videos. In the meantime, it's not all bad. We have sheep in the field. And the sun is shining on the River Dart. The local club are out sailing. I've washed Sovereign Bay, so she's looking nice and clean and tidy again. I've even tidied up inside her. So yeah, it's not all bad. So let's get on with the video and see what I've been up to, shall we? Well, hello YouTubers. Yeah, we're back in Blighty, and for the next few weeks, maybe a few months actually, I shall be at this establishment doing some welding and some mechanical work to earn enough money to go back home. So there's the old work bus, looking as glamorous as ever. Nothing really changed there, except it's got a bit scruffier because it doesn't get the attention it deserves. I had a bit of a problem with it. We'll probably be doing a video on that, unfortunately. The concentric on the clutch has gone, which is a hydraulic part which releases when you put your foot on the clutch pedal. For those of you who aren't mechanically minded, it pushes hydraulic fluid through to a slave cylinder, which then releases your clutch, the springs on your clutch. This has got what they call a concentric, which is a similar sort of idea, except it sits inside the gearbox, so I've got to drop the gearbox out in order to do it. Anyway, let me show you what I'm on with today. Put my bins on so I can see. So there we go, we're working on a transit. These aren't usually worth welding, and this is why. This is the inner arch it failed on, which I've cut out now. So all this here has got to be replaced, and down in the corner there. So I've cut all that out, and there's some bits on the so there's my workstation for last night, and here's what we've managed to create. So that's the big bit that will go up around the flat part of the wheel arch, and then this bit here, which I've put a curve in, I don't know whether that shows up very well, there goes, if we go around here, that will go in there like that, which makes up that that bit there. So I made that up last night, and then there's this complicated little shape which I've got to do a bit of work on again this morning, which sits behind there and makes up the wheel up. So just fabricating that bit up for the hole in the sill. Pretty happy with that. I've just got to massage it a little bit on the dolly. It's got a weird sort of, it's wider there than it is there on the curve, but you can do that. And then in there, all this here, I've made all those panels which I showed you earlier, welded them in. Same on the chassis, all seam sealed. So there you go, it's welded in place. I've just roughly ground it off. I mean, it's only an old transit van, so I haven't got all day to spend on it, so that's a quick patch. Wasn't even on the MOT, but we noticed it, so I'm doing it. So now all I've got to do is put the inner sill back on, and then that can be shorted up. You'll never know I've been there. So here we are on the back of the van. For those of you who are familiar with transits, this is the rear spring hanger. It's rotten there, so I'm going to cut all that out. It was rotten there, so I've cut that piece out. I'm going to make a plate up to go in there. Here's a piece I've made. It will go in there eventually when I've cut it all out. I'll probably leave a little bit of the structure to give it a bit more strength, because this is okay here, but I'll cut it off about there, weld it to the back of my new plate, plug it probably. Yeah. So if you're thinking of buying a transit, this is probably going to be the strongest one around. Right, this doesn't look as good on the video as it does in real life, but let's see. Getting in there is a bit difficult. Yeah. Oh, there you go. So there you can see I've replaced the spring hanger. There you go, you can see I've replaced the spring hanger now and plated up that bit of chassis. It's all seam sealed, ready for under sealing, which I shall do before we put the new springs on. Got new springs to come. Looks much better in real life than it does on the video. Now here, this is a bit more complicated. The inner sill had rotted out, and as I've said, there isn't a fortune in this job because it's a transit of a certain age, but it has to be safe. So I've cut the sill section out, and I've made this bit which goes in there like that. I'm pretty happy with the way that fits. I've just got to clean up the area now, and that will be another bit of rot work done. And as you can see, I've got to do the other side of the sill, but I'll put this one in first. Quite a complicated shape that was, but anyway, it's there and it fits perfect now. So I'll weld that in, and then I'll cut the other side out, that bit there, and we'll weld that up. So there you go. That's that bit welded in. I've even done a bit for the outer sill. Okay, well we're a few days in there, so I'll show you what I've done. First of all, we treated the sill. Well, I treated the sill, which I made that panel up, popped it in there, put a little patch on there, which isn't fantastic, not to my usual standard, but as I said, it is only an MOT on an old Transit. Repaired all that inner wing, made all the panels up for it. Pop the torch on a minute, but yeah, I don't know whether you can see the shape of that. It's quite a complicated shape. If I can get the torch to stay here for a minute. So yeah, I make this panel up here, which has got a curved rolled edge to it all the way around. Then this panel here, which goes up and round into there. I actually made it in two sections, but I did roll the edge of the panel to get that rounded shape. I know it is only a Transit, but I want somebody to look under there and go, that's all right. Put a piece in there and a piece on the inner sill. Then on the near side of the van, I plate that up. That wasn't on the MOT, but I spotted it, so thought we'd do that. Under there you'll see I've replaced part of the chassis there and there. It was double skinned, so that had to be cut right out, and then repaired that piece there. I'm not quite sure why he failed that. There wasn't much wrong with it, but we cleaned it up anyway. And the complicated bit was I had to replace the rear spring hanger. I had to make all that up. If I can get the torch to stay there for a minute. This piece here, I had to make that panel up. I don't know whether the camera's going to show you. Yeah, made it up, lip each side, and then it comes out there, spot welds into there. I did leave some of the old bracket which came to about there and plug welded it to give it a bit of extra strength, and I had to repair the chassis up there. New brake pipes. So yeah, that's that job done. The weekend we start on the ferry, stripping the paint off that. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, and as if by magic, now we're working on a boat. So today's project is the ferry from Dipsum. We've got to get all this varnish off and then revarnish it. I think they're doing the paintwork as well, I'm not sure. To ask Andy on that, he's the boss. Anyway, it's a heat gun and a scraper for me today. I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand, so basically what I'm doing is I'm holding the heat gun. You don't want to get it too close, probably about 4 or 5 inches away, and warming. You don't want to be burning it, just warming the varnish. And as I'm doing that, as soon as the varnish starts to get hot, just scraping it off, which leaves it like that. And then we'll sand it and prep it, and then it will be a couple of coats, wet coats, and then we'll go through the varnish coats then. So I'd best crack on. As you can see, you just wait for it to soften up and it scrapes right off. So I find that if you keep the heat gun on it as you go along, you see how easy that's coming off. Just work back over it again. Whereas if you do it like this and then do that, it gives it time to cool down. So I find that if you keep the gun on it, it also keeps the tool nice and hot, which helps. So there you go. Wayne Toombs will be loving that. Some of you lot that watch me for Kefalonia videos, probably not so much, but we've only got till February doing this. So there we go, that's how it looks when it's stripped. I'll give you an idea. It's better, shows up better on the front, on the foredeck. Ready for sanding that area there, obviously. I'll best crack on. So there you go, there's before, and there, as if by magic, is after. What do you reckon, Andy? So now all I've got to do is get that side the same as that. Yeah. Oh. So I've been back a couple of weeks. The clutch on the van, the hydraulic side of it has gone. Now the alternator is flashing on and off. I don't know what, I think it's probably the tensioner, because Robbie in Torquay does all my electrical stuff when I'm back. I'll put a link in the description below for him if you need a starter motor or a alternator rebuilding. It's a much cheaper way of getting your vehicle back on the road, because some of these parts are quite expensive and he'll just rebuild them for you. So I doubt that it's anything to do with the actual alternator. It's probably either the tensioner or something on the van, because if we look at the dashboard, the AA put this series of switches in. Now that one there is for the jump leads, which have got a plug underneath the bumper, so you can plug them in and you get an extra bit of length. You don't have to open the bonnet and mess around with your battery. Now when you turn that on, there's a big clunk, so I'm sort of thinking, I don't know, I'm going to ask Rob, that there's maybe an inverter there to up the ampage, so the cranking ampage of your battery. Now the other night I had Pat, my adopted sister, and my daughter Charlie in the van, and that got knocked on while we were driving. I'm wondering whether that might be affecting it. I don't know. Other than that, it's a new tensioner. Poor old van needs a bit of love and attention. That's the only problem with living in Greece most of the year and coming back here to earn money. Everything you leave around ends up needing some attention. So I don't know what we're going to do about that, but it'll be an interesting fix, you wait and see. Oh, and a huge thanks to whoever it was drove into my van while I was away. Nobody can see that there. Huge dent in the door. I'm pretty certain that happened at the boatyard, because it wasn't there before I went away, and the van has only been parked in this yard or in the boatyard, and I only noticed it the other day when I went shopping. So the only place it could have been driven into really is the boatyard. I'm a bit cheesed off about it. I know the van's a bit scruffy, but it was straight. It just needed a bit of a tidy up, and now I'm going to have to repair the door. But never mind, onward and upward. So that was a week in Rudge World, welding transits and working on boats with my mate Andy. I have to say, I've been in the motor trade since I was 14. I'm now 63, and I much prefer working on the boats, which I've been doing a few years now, marine engineering and bits and pieces for Andy and Jenny, refinishing work mostly. I do enjoy doing that, so it's not all bad. And it is only till February, and then we can go back to Kefalonia and get stuck in. As I said, and I keep saying, there will be the odd bit of Kefalonia chucked in. Once a month I'll do a video if I can, with the stuff that I have backed up. And normally at the end of the video, just to keep you watching, I may well drop a little bit of Kefalonia in from what I've already shown you, just to keep you interested. But this week, just to prove I have a social life, I went to watch my youngest daughter, Charlie Ann, who I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of all my children. I've been blessed with good kids, really. But Charlie's forging a career in the music industry. She's at uni at the minute, studying. So when I can, I don't think I've missed many of her gigs, probably one or two. I've been to everything she's done. This was at Powderham Castle down in Devon. Last night. I don't envy her working there, because it's very echoey, that room, but she did have one of the best engineers in the business. The guy, if you look to the right on the video, you'll see a guy sat down with a desk. That's Robin Brown of the Cave, the charity. Lord Brown, as me and Christopher call him out the Freak Brothers, he was the engineer on our lockdown sessions. If you scroll through my videos on YouTube, you'll eventually come to a couple of musical ones. Lord Brown was responsible for doing the engineering on those. Superb guy. I'm really chuffed he's looking after my daughter, because he does seem to like working with her. And more power to her. So, without further ado, this is Charlie Ann. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.
We're Joyride. We're going to sing a new song for tonight. You may previously know us as Found Missing, but since then we've changed our name. Yeah, feel free to stand up and get involved. Our songs are a bit more rocky, so yeah. Just waiting for Jack to. Oh, he's ready. Okay.
Okay, well, here we are, sat on Lordas Beach, getting the last bit of sunshine for the day. So this is my favourite part of the island, really. I suppose it's where it all started for me, Lordas. Just to give you an idea, if you go in that direction there and then turn up the hill, that's the village of Lordas, and then further on over the bridge you get to Blahata, which I also spent a lot of time. Just at the end of this beach, where it comes out there, the other side of that is Trapazaki. There's another beach there in Taverna, and then you can go further around. There's some more smaller beaches. You tend to get a lot of boats anchoring up there when the sea state and the wind are good. Very nice place to come and chill out on your boat. And when we're on Balboa, we used to frequent this area around here. You've got the airport over the back there, and Aguirre Pereguia, which is another little marina that's getting more and more popular now. Over there you've got Zakynthos, around the corner Scala, Poros and the mainland. That's Lordas. Used to go skinny dipping over there with my ex-wife, actually. Bit of information you probably don't require. But there you go, we did. And of course down in that direction on the right hand side is some old friends of mine. I've known them nearly 30 years now, Marina and Yanni, who own Clematis. In my opinion, one of the best places around here to go and eat. Next to Dionysus, of course, who are also part of my family, really. And they can be found further up the hill. Dionysus, they do the best pizza I've ever had. Full stop. And nice traditional food as well, like your mama would cook. Brilliant. Anyway, enough of my ramblings. That's the sun going down over there. Catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe please, and hit the like button because it all helps me. Catch you later.